I'm fixing.
yeah.
I'm fixing.
Yeah, I'm just hello everyone.
Of course, we have to
little-
fix it because who decides to join right at the last minute?
Hey, look
Yeah.
at your sweet beard. I haven't been around. You're looking pretty awesome.
Y'all got a little deck tease.
Yeah.
How y'all like that deck tease?
Cody's got a little more length in the beard. I've been gone lately, apparently.
Welcome to Thin Line Defense
Yeah, I need to
episode.
get it.
Where are we at? 219.
Whew.
We got busy talking in the green room, and I was like, "Oh, Joe didn't have his mask on." I'm like, "Joe, get your mask on. We're gonna start like 2 minutes ago."
Yeah.
And Walsh was still late.
I was
Yeah.
I had like a bad cold or something going on, so I was trying to sleep it off. But apparently, I slept
Dude,
a moment too long.
I've had that too, and I've been trying to force through my life regardless, and it's not working.
We're there together.
geez.
We're there together. Yeah.
I got my VA lab results back, and my vitamin D's always been really low. So I've just been like pumping myself with vitamin D pills.
So
Right,
you
want
need
some
then,
vitamin
and then
D?
one day I was like, "Can you overdose on vitamin D?" And I looked it up, and you can. And I was
yeah,
at,
not
I was
water
taking it,
soluble. There's
I was taking it at the level that they were like, "You should like." Even
Not have
ChatGPT,
this.
I like ran it through ChatGPT, and they were like, "You need to stop immediately."
It wasn't like
don't-
soon. It was like immediately.
I was
Like, you
I
need
was
to
taking
stop.
like I forgot what the IU stands for, but I'm only supposed to take like 2,000. I was taking 10,000 IUs, like
Oh,
I forgot, like 25,000 milligrams or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, it's vitamin D. It's probably okay."
Yeah.
everybody saying Jason taking that D.
Did you know vitamin A is the same way?
I don't know even know what vitamin A is. I've never even heard of vitamin A.
I think every
What?
vitamin.
It's what. No, not every. You can't, it's water soluble. Like vitamin C and water soluble, you'll pee out whatever you don't use. But A can kill you, and I don't know if it's just a wise tale. It's what we learned before the internet, so somebody Google it. But they say a polar bear liver has enough vitamin A in it that if you eat it, it'll kill you.
Whoa.
Huh.
So
Now,
if you ever find yourself eating a polar bear,
Yeah,
leave the
somebody-
liver alone or take it in small pieces.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
look
you
at
gotta
this.
remember.
076 says, "So I realized today that 50K sub giveaways on my birthday. It's too bad I'll only be 49. It would be amazing if I won on my birthday, though."
That
So-
would be cool.
Wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
I'm gonna tell you guys this. This is something that I want to make sure to do with the giveaway was to give back to all the viewers and to all our supporters. So there are extra points you can get for being a Discord member, extra points for being a Patreon member, extra points for being a YouTube member. There are some people who have been all of those things for a long period of time. There are some people like I can see who's got so many votes, and then like the members are in like the 700s, whereas like some others don't have nearly that much. So
FYI, I won't say who, but someone messaged me directly to complain about that specifically.
did they?
Like, that's not fair. The member, the people, like the people that pay for YouTube membership or Patreon or like pay attention, they have the ability to get like 750 points,
It's
and
100%
the regular
fair.
person only gets like 84 points. And
Yeah.
I told them, hey, the person that won our last giveaway that we did this, they won on the like the click that sent them to Agilite's website or something like that. It wasn't from the super special codes that we give out to people.
Right.
That is our way of like trying to help the people that support us win, but it's not a guarantee.
Yeah. And that's
You know,
really
And I'm sorry if you don't think it's fair, but we do. And Walsh is the one that, and Walsh and Jason put it all together. So
I did not.
I know that they're crude, but in this case, your opinion, thank you for sharing it. But it,
just
You
says,
should have
"I
been
won't be
like,
a
well,
little
guess
beat
what?
anymore."
You have the ability to become a member, to join our Patreon, to go to Discord and get the same points.
and what we didn't
That's
do.
the whole point.
Yeah, and what we didn't do, which is where would be kind of unfair, is just having codes we gave out to those OG members, and that's something I considered and was like, that would be really messy. Like that would be really yucky. Where it's like, hey, you want to get the same amount of entries as everybody else? Come support the
076. We all know it's rigged.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
This would be a rig.
and obviously that person hadn't watched any of the giveaway, because if they would have known it's all rigged from the get go.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say. If they were hanging around like an OG, they would know it's rigged.
It's rigged, so it doesn't really matter.
like what would be really rigged is if you comment from Rumble, every time you comment from Rumble, you get some extra
Negative.
point.
The Rumble is -1. It takes one away. Like,
Negative
invalidate one entry. Like, no.
Harry says, "I demand to win this giveaway."
But like, it really comes down to though, if like I think YouTube membership is $4, Patreon's $5 or something crazy. It's like, hey, this is such a small amount. You're basically getting $3,000, like getting entered into a $3,000 worth of stuff by just saying, hey, I'm going to support you guys and watch your content. So if you come join our Discords and you watch our content and you involve yourself, like if you get involved in our community, you're way more likely to win in the community that was built, right? I think that's what's
my dudes.
It's hard to be upset about it when you're
but
like,
it's those exact people that have built it up to what it is for you to be able to give away what you're giving away.
Hold on. Michael Farley says, I literally signed up for Patreon to get extra entries, even though I'm already a YouTube member. Thanks, buddy.
that's fine.
Yeah.
And then
Nice.
Josh says, be right back. Gonna make Zach a Rumble account to better my odds.
How funny would that be? Just all of a sudden, this like Harry Baloney, like it resurrects Rumble, and he comes in.
Yeah.
I think whatever Josh said was great. Like Harry's like, that's not me, man. That's not
me. We're still deducting 20 points.
That's a good point. Harry could have like 19 entries because he has 19 different YouTube.
Oh yeah,
he does. But 18
panels.
of them are banned in 52 countries. So
yeah.
How
did Harry win? Oh, we know.
we know.
We're still going to be doing our live chat giveaways that we typically do, giving back to the people that support us here Thursday night. So we'll be doing.
Yeah, must be present to win.
Yeah. And just so real quick though, there are extra points you're going to be able to win just for watching the videos. Like I haven't put that one out yet, but it'll come out soon. There's a ton of points you can get for just being in the Discord. So really, it's just being involved. Is all we're asking you guys to do to get a huge leg up. But yeah, just like Jason said, I have this whole Die Freako set, some slings, just a ton of random stuff that I was just going to do a members only thing and just do that.
Harry says, Jason, I sent you a $500 certified check. It's in the mail, promise. So keep me in mind for the giveaway.
Harry's rich right now because it's tax season. So y'all remember
dude, look at this. Brooke says, really tick them off. Give them 10 points per month of membership as he celebrates 40 months of membership.
Dang, dude.
Yeah,
I wonder if we could do that.
That would just make everybody mad.
You know what you could do is you could make
the tier
a specific code for those people and you like send it to them.
And that's kind of what I avoided though. Yeah, that's the only thing I avoided. I honestly thought about doing that, and that was kind of the original plan. But then it was like you give out certain codes to certain people, and it would just get
you know what's crazy? I'm gonna share this story real quick because this is like itching the back of my brain. So my daughter did the design for a Faxon firearm, right? And they were doing a giveaway for that firearm, and I wanted to win my daughter designed firearm. There are only 4 in existence. Like, I can't get this. You can't buy it. So every day I did everything that I could possibly do to get a mini entry as possible, right? And like 3 days before the giveaway, I asked my daughter to reach out to Faxon and say, hey, I know I'm not going to win, but can I offer up a cash prize to like $2,000 to the winner where they could choose the firearm or like $2,000? And if they chose the $2,000, then I get the firearm, right?
Yeah.
But that went for my daughter's gun, and I still never complained about their giveaway process. You know what I mean?
Your daughter's gun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Faxon hooked me up, dude.
Yeah.
They're forever. I'm forever in their debt, and they're forever on a pedestal to me.
Yeah, that was super
because they made
literally.
Long story short, they made 4 copies, right? 1 for the Cerakote, 1 for my daughter, 1 for the giveaway, and 1 for them. Well, they surprised me, and they sent my daughter their copy for me.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's high five to Faxon. They're cool. Crap. It's wall art, and it hangs in my living room.
I was gonna say, Joe literally has it on a pedestal.
Literally. Yeah.
On a shelf, on the wall, in the living room, on the main wall where like the TV and everything important is.
He doesn't even have a picture of me in his house, and he's got that up on his wall.
That is very true. I think I have a picture of you in my house, if not on the wall.
To be fair, the firearm is a lot prettier than Cody.
That's
true.
Debatable.
That's debatable.
But I am excited to see who wins this giveaway because someone's going to get an epic ton of crap.
Dude, it was so awesome.
I was talking to someone about what is included in it, and it's basically like we're missing pants and boots for it to be like a head to toe giveaway.
That's it. And I thought about that. I thought about like, man, I could probably just get pants and boots, but I'm already like, I have to coordinate with so many companies just for this already.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw in a pair of underwear.
Sizes, like trying to get sizes for pants and boots squared away.
It could be used.
Well, so the good thing about this is what's basically going to happen with the winner is they're going to get directly put in contact with our marketing contact at those specific brands. So they're going to get like, they're going to say like, okay, hey, what do you want for your helmet color and size? What do you want for your belt setup and size? What do you want for your plate carrier and size? Because like the DPC from Dynamic Principles kind of is based on this different specific plates and stuff. So somebody may have questions or be like, hey, I don't have plates yet, but I'm going to buy later. What's funny though is when I was making the giveaway, right? And I'm in there and I'm like, hey, at 100,000, we're gonna do nods. The wife's, she's like over my shoulder. She's like, did you organize that with Nocturn at all, or are you gonna pay for that? I was like, I haven't sorted that out yet.
Yeah,
like, oh, great. So you're paying.
That's a future me problem.
That's a late. Like at 100. The thing about how happy I'll be at 100,000, I won't even worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
I'll be like, why am I buying some random mass person nods?
But when you get to 1 million, you're gonna really get poor.
Yeah, that's
dude.
Because I'm have to remember who they are. You guys would be like, okay, so you got to find Zach. Yeah. You got to find Harry. Like, there's some people where I have to go find.
We did the math that if they would have just saved the money that they would have paid in membership, by the time we get to 1 million, they would have enough money to buy PVS 14s.
Yeah. No, that's the principle of it.
And we've talked about this for so long. Somebody will go back and watch whatever video needs to be watched on the live. Yeah. And they'll let us know what episode it was, and then we just have to rewatch it.
Yeah. I think
and like just look at the comments, be like, "Oh, this is who."
We should watch it on the live, and then that's like the announcement of who's getting nods.
Yeah, and then who was that talk show host that just gave everything away? Like
Oprah.
Oprah. You get nods, and you get nods.
I would go a school bus. I would travel to each one of their house, or like see where we could meet them. But like, hey, we're gonna go out and visit so and so. We're gonna go see them. Like, we're gonna make a trip out to Illinois and be like, hey, thanks for supporting us when we had 33 subscribers. We're at 1 million now. Here's your stuff, dude. Like,
Harley says, Walsh better start saving up in case Nocturne says no to 100K nod giveaway.
Yep.
We'll survive.
You know what? No, dude, have you seen that movie Just Married or something like that, or Stays in Vegas? The one with Ashton Kutcher. Where they get married in Vegas, they get drunk.
I don't think so.
And the friend just wants to punch somebody in the junk, and then be like, "You know why?" And then at the end, that's what happens. That's what I would do if you invited me to people's houses, dude. You'd be like, "Bing bong." They'd be like, "Oh, wow, it's a family get to meet you," and I just pop out of the bush like the ATF, dude. Wow.
Why'd you do that?
You know why?
You like toss the knots on their chest and leave.
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Where they get all that money and they travel around the U.S.
Oh yeah,
fight the people that made bad comments about their movie.
Oh yeah, like, doing that. What the F?
Are you Sweaty Monkey 85? Yeah.
All right.
Out of the bushes like the ATF.
Militaristics. Hey Walsh, that 2.5 to 20. NX8 has been great so far. The Mill XT reticle works well at both ends due to design and brightness. Is that the Night Force?
Yeah, Night Force. Yeah.
NX8.
So yeah, we've talked to them a bunch. We may be able to get to see. I know the 2.5 to 20 is a super popular one. We may be able to get to see the 4 to 16. We're trying to partner with them, so we're trying to see what we could do to show up more stuff. I don't necessarily want to just get one scope. I think it'll be way cooler to get to see, just to borrow a bunch and get to see more of a lineup of a higher tier. So that would be pretty cool if we get to do that. But otherwise, we'll get what we get. Like, I have a bad habit lately of making really expensive companies mad. That's been a good trick of mine lately, I guess.
Harry says, "Don't worry, Cody. I have a picture of you in my house, 30 or so."
I like it.
I
like it.
Only 30?
Yeah.
No, okay. So I want to bring something up.
You like it until you figure out that one right above the toilet in the bathroom. We still don't know why it's hanging there.
For eye contact, just in case.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Are we
like,
or motivation? I don't know.
I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
All right. We're at last week's video time, and
yes.
I don't know.
Radian.
Yeah, I don't know.
Radian video.
Yeah, I don't know if Joe watched this video.
I didn't, and
Okay.
I meant to. I failed.
It's okay. No, it's okay.
I failed.
It's better. It's better that way because you're not tainted at all. I'm going to say this, though. I am the nicest one in this group. There is no way. Like, if I was mean in that video or you thought it was mean, everybody else here would have been meaner. So
okay. Being at SHOT Show for, what is it, 5 years in a row now with Walsh, the people that we meet regularly know that I am much meaner than Walsh. Way meaner than him.
When they met Joe 1 year, and he's basically like trying to punch people in the crotch the whole time.
You know why?
Yeah. Hey, I'm your biggest fan that you won't write back to.
You were the CEO of Springfield. He was like, "Hey, how's my card?" Okay, I got his card, guys. I don't think he's gonna answer that email, bro. So I say that in Joe. The Radian. Okay, great gun. Okay, it's a great gun. It's what it is. The issue is, I have no problem. I'm never going to say it's not a good gun. Go ahead.
Michael Farley says Walsh made Radian upsetty spaghetti.
Yeah, and also somebody in their chat upsetty spaghetti.
Have they responded?
Yeah, well, I've talked to them a little bit, and
okay,
I haven't talked to them in specific. So I don't want. I don't want to bash anybody. Don't want to be mean to anybody. But it's a good gun, right? That's not my problem. The problem is it's $3,200.
Right.
And I think that's
that hurts.
What happens is it taints my scope, and it would be to any of us. Like, okay, hey, I want you to look at something, be like, okay, hey, it's okay. Like, well, your scope gets changed dramatically when you're like, well, hey, you have the most expensive by $1,000, right? You've taken the most expensive gun can even imagine, added $1,000 onto it, and so that's the lens I'm going to look through. So, like, when I see like the bolt carrier group. Nothing wrong with it. I think it's good. It's mid-tier. It's an azimuth BCG, right? It's like toolcraft basically, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not what I would expect at $3,200.
I think the main theme of your video was, it's good, but is it $3,200 good? That's the main theme.
And every person has to justify that.
Yeah. Sure. What I was thinking about, like, I love LaRue. I have a bunch of their trigger. I don't have any of the rifles because they're $2,500. So I put it in that context. Like, if money was an issue, you put a gun to my head and you're like, you got to spend $3,000 on an AR, I would probably go and buy a LaRue. I don't know. I've never shot one. I've never even read anything about how good or how bad they are, but I like their trigger so much, I'd probably go and buy a LaRue. And I would still have $700 left over compared to the Radian.
So, and listen, someone told me Blackout Defense are some of the best guns you can buy right now. Their upper cost $1,000. So you could buy an upper and a Radian lower and save $1,200. That's where I'm like, well,
I could buy a milling machine for $1,000.
Hey, did you see the Josh comment real quick?
Yeah. So Josh says, Walsh, do I need to write up a form and or an apology to Radian? Do we have the budget for flowers or edible arrangements?
We may need to do some edible arrangements. And I don't want anyone to think it's not a good gun. And I did my research. I even talked to Jason about this, and I was like, hey man, this is like a 1 1/4, 2 MOA gun. There's nothing wrong with that. And I looked at the other reviews, and I'm like, this is what these other guys are getting. Like, I'm not getting abnormal results. I watched some from some other channels from like 4 years ago, and I hate to say, but 4 years ago, it was a better gun because it had a better trigger in it, but they had a lot of the same complaints. So, yeah.
Bailey says, I think the main issue with the Model 1 is that it's confused as to what it wants to be. The part choices are all over the place.
See, I wish Joe would have watched it because he would have turned the red light on, and he would have gone full sovereign citizen on this and be like,
well,
because he builds guns. That's the problem.
Well, here's the thing is, okay, I was waiting for everybody to get their thing off because I'm going to kind of turn it towards a different world, right? I'm more in the car world, and this happened all the time in the car world, right? Corvette and bringing out a ZR1, okay, ZR1, that had over 1,000 horsepower, going to whoop the snot out of everything on the road, right? But there's still people that are going to go buy a Ferrari. The Ferrari costs 3 times as much as the Corvette, although the Corvette can do everything that the Ferrari can do, if not do it better. There is honesty behind people liking brand, just like Jason just explained. He never even shot a LaRue. He's never even researched them, and that's what he would buy, right? And I did this exact same thing. So there are two categories of people, right? There's the category of people that are, I'm all about functionality, and then there's a category of people that they're about the overall either experience or the overall ambiance of what they're getting, right? And I went down that road and had to make a decision on my 2011. So I really wanted to go the staccato way because of the whole ambiance part of it, right? Everything that they stand for, that they were the pioneer, that they make all the guns and blah, blah, blah. But then I had to look at other guns on the market. And when I compared the two, I couldn't justify the extra $1,000+ So I'm the person about the functionality of it over the ambiance.
Okay.
So I went that way.
A question then. Let's say you had a gun budget, and every so often you just throw money into that gun budget, and you buy everything that you want to buy, and you have this $5,000 in there. You're thinking about, okay, what can I get? I've gotten all the guns that I want to get. Would you then spend money on a staccato?
Honestly, probably. Okay. And if you would ask me the same question 2 years ago before I had my collection where I have it, I'd have said absolutely not. I'll buy 3 guns.
Yeah.
But I also said that I would never buy a Trigicon, and I just spent over $600. I spent more on the stupid optic than I did the damn gun.
Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing. Sorry.
Go ahead.
What I was gonna say is what kind of skews your lens or your scope, like you were saying, is we've built guns for cheap and they run. So when you look at it, I could build 4 or 5 guns that can run with that gun, or I could buy that gun off the shelf. So if you are a Ferrari guy and you just want to buy something off the shelf, then go that route.
Yep. And if you want to go cheaper, like the Corvette, right, you can go that route. But if you want to build it yourself and start off with whatever, pick your poison, right? A Mustang. I'll even go forward. You want to start off with a Mustang for 50, drop 50 into it. It's going to wax everything out there.
I think the big thing we do here is we take a lot of the lenses at like, hey, what is the value you're getting for the cost, right? And I think that's why a lot of the plate carrier listing is a little bit skewed. People are like, hey, that's not the best plate carrier. Like, you're right. That's not the best plate carrier on the market. Yeah. But if you're just coming into the, we are kind of starting at the time, you're just looking into it for the first time, that is the best you can get for the value of the dollar you're going to get.
But for that one, you could get the plate carrier, the belt, and a holster for your gun. That's why it's a better deal.
Yeah. So right. But so looking at the same thing.
Croak said Model 1, the Radian Model 1 was one of my grail guns a decade ago. So I bought one a couple years ago. No regrets at all. And I think that's something like, just because.
And you're that Ferrari owner. Yeah. And there's going to be no, if I had the money, I wouldn't build a car. Dude, I want an RX-7 so bad, right? If I had the money, I would go buy my Porsche, my dream Porsche, and I would never have any regrets. Somebody would be like, no, but I'm saying if I had the money, even though the RX-7 my dream car, I would still go buy a Porsche.
The Porsche RX-7?
Okay. Yeah, that one.
I think
but I would have no regrets, and nobody could ever. I could lose every single race, and nobody would ever convince me that I made the wrong purchase.
I think
that's okay.
And I agree with you. I think Croak's a good example of like, if that's what you want, don't. And I kind of said this in the comments. Don't let me yuck your yum, right? If like you saw the value in that, and that's something you've always dreamed of, don't let me devalue what you like, right? You like what you like. But I think the only difference between the analogy between the car and the rifle is it'd be different if every single car, if they had all the same parts, right? So it's like, hey, all the parts can be interchanged with every single part. To some degree, they can, right? But it's like, hey, you can use this engine or that engine. It costs the same roughly to switch them out. So one is way more expensive than the other.
CJ Shoot says, but what MOA does a Porsche shoot at?
Now, did you say 1.25 to 2 MOA at 100 yards?
I mean that's pretty normal. So it uses the same barrel that BCM uses. So it's usually they have a sub MOA guarantee with match grade
Proper
ammo,
ammo,
which BCA has also. I just kind of throw that to the wind because I don't care about that. But I got about one to two MOAs, kind of where I was at with my normal SMB that I shoot. Like the 77 grain is pretty nice stuff. I'm sure I could get tighter groups, but I mean the IWI Zion got sub MOA with it, so
Yeah.
that's what Cody shot it before and just rang steel all day with a $1,200 gun. So I was like, why would we need to spend, like, the core of a gun is the barrel and the trigger.
Right.
Right.
And those two
Unless
things,
you're not looking at it like that, like you're building your own car, right? If
Sure.
somebody is looking at it like they want a Ferrari, then there is, and that's fine. That's
Fine.
okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So
But we're always going to go, the four of us, me, I think I'm the worst about it, but we're always going to side with functionality, practicality over
cost.
the ambiance of it. Because you can't grade the ambiance, right? And I'm just saying the ambiance has the complete package. How it looks, how the company is, how the box looks, how GQ it is, right? That's all over here. And we can't grade that. So we have to stick with the functionality for the cost. And is it more functional than other guns at half the cost? And I think the answer is no.
I'm saying that this group right here, what we would do is we would take a Corolla and put a Porsche engine in it.
Yeah. Or LS. We'd LS swap that.
We'll take some Aero receivers and then put like a really nice barrel in it.
Yeah, like a proof barrel, and be like, we're good. Like, we're good.
Yep.
Yeah. Rocket.
Criterion.
There's so many
Criterion barrel.
There's so many car related comments. I'm afraid to. I want to know. I don't know anything about cars. So, like Bailey says, 4-rotor 959. Joe, thoughts?
Ooh, dude. Would you like one of my testicles for that car? Please.
Okay.
Jeez.
Okay. So, the whole thing with the Wankel rotary engine is it's a triangle that spins, right? That's how the engine is. But that's one piston, and you can keep bolting them. You could have a 12 if you have enough room. So 4-rotor, like kind of the holy grail, what they put in some race cars, but it's too big to put to you practically. But there are a couple people that have built RX-7 FD2s or whatever the body style, the third gens. With
Joe, what's your happy wall color?
Probably that purple. Yeah. Okay. I'm totally feng shuiing right now, dude.
I know.
Bring us that comment from Croak, because I think it's the perfect example.
Hold on, real quick. Just want to share the train going off the rails here.
We are just trading car talk.
Yeah. Apparently, you two didn't watch the other chats that just Joe and I were doing.
Oh, I did.
There was no rails.
So says, I get just over 1 MOA with AAC 77 grain and under 1 all day with Black Hills. Only AR-15 I own that shoots tighter is a Grendel that I lapped, thermo fit the barrel, all the tricks.
Okay, this is the perfect example because Croak is the one that also loves the Radian, right? So he's actually got both of our arguments where he's saying, like, I love it because it's the aesthetics, but I can build a better gun for cheaper.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that was the key to
I don't
that
think
video.
he thinks that was the argument that he made.
But he did.
He did.
Yeah, so he pushed him
Walsh
into that
decided
corner.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's not what you're saying. That's what I read.
Wankel rotor is like a P320. Eventually, it'll blow up.
Yeah, and it's very known win, 100,000 miles.
Drop it.
Yeah, don't drop it. Don't do it.
Drop the engine. Don't drop the engine.
Xeon Zone says, I would like to see each of you do your own budget performance build list.
We would build the same gun because when we first made the channel,
they're at all of these. Like that's all I know.
So there's a white gun that I have that Joe did that probably was the very first one. He talks about it all the time. He almost never sent it to me, but it was the original gun we put together. That was just what was the total at the time? $700.
Yeah, 800. Yeah, 700, 800 at the time.
Under
super cheap.
Under 1,000, just phenomenal. Ran
under 1,000 with optics.
Yeah, with optics.
And
I have that AR9 build. I have that in our Dropbox. It's the build, but with AR9 parts.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
the same
You know,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, we would build the same one, and it's just like it's fantastic, and it runs, and there's no issues. Ballistic advantage barrels are crazy for what you get. Are they duty grade? No, but I mean, we're not shooting 5, 8, 10,000 rounds, and even if you are, you're
That's
going to switch your
also
barrel out anyway.
That's
Yeah.
a consumable
Bailey says,
part. So
I don't know. You keep calling the gun a Ferrari when it's just a lifted F350 on bands.
yeah.
There you go.
Josh says, we are not the same. If Walsh likes it, I hate it. Because I got to be.
It's like I'm only
Well, then
disagreeing.
you'll love that gun then.
Yeah, yeah.
Croak says, my point was the out of the box experience with the Radian was and continues to be exceptional. I dropped another $80 on my preferred trigger and 15% mil discount.
I wish that he said he put a LaRue in there, which I need to get with you on. I want to order one of those because I want to get one for my Grendel build. But even you at least acknowledge that trigger was pretty Duke. Like that was something that kind of bugged me too. Like they put a performance trigger in there, but it's not. Like it's like you're not fooling anybody.
Bob said, do you all carry the same defensive 9mm ammo?
I don't know. I don't think we've ever talked about it.
Yeah, we've never talked about
Hornady critical duty for me.
Yeah, same. So accidentally probably.
Yes, we all do.
I'm looking at my countertop right here, and I got 4 boxes.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
I actually need to refresh mine.
I think I have Winchester Ranger.
Oh, there you go.
That's different.
Oh, I think I changed mine.
Yeah, in 40.
No, 9.
What are the HSTs?
Oh, okay.
Who makes the HSTs?
Isn't that Hornady?
Yeah, Hornady.
Yeah, I think that's what I changed to a while ago. But they're kind of all mixed in.
I have some Spear gold dots too.
I'll grab critical duty or critical defense as long as I've ran it in the gun and know it'll run both.
Dude,
yeah,
because it's just the grainage
right there.
Yeah.
Croak says, dude, I hate all single stage cassette triggers, not just the Radian. And mine came with the old trigger, not the new one. Still hated it.
Well, I didn't know.
Drew was saying it's Federal 147 HST.
Oh, Federal HST, yeah. So yeah, that's what I mean. So I have Hornady critical defense and Federal HST.
Okay.
I think it's just because they only had one or the other. One time I went and I was like, fine. Like I googled it. I was like, these are great. And I was like, fine.
Militaristic says gold dot all the things.
I got gold dot. Yeah, I got tons of that.
You can't go wrong with gold dot. The only reason why I do Hornady at number 1, it's the casing doesn't corrode bad from my experience. I don't know if it will or not, but from like the oils, I don't see it oxidizing it bad. And the little polymer part in the front, when you're putting because I used to carry my gun for duty use, so I'd put a round in it every day. And after a while, hollow points will kind of mar up, and that little polymer tip helped it from doing that.
Dude, I have
what
no
Joe
idea
meant to say is the number one reason why he likes Hornady is because it's made in Nebraska.
I didn't even know that, but sure, I'll go with that.
That's what you meant to say.
We need to go visit Hornady then.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Garen Wilson says Liberty Civil Defense, spicy stuff.
Hey, I do want to know. Here's a good question for you guys. What do you consider? This is a good like mind exercise to see where everybody's at in terms of rifle cost.
Oh gosh, mind exercise. Here we go.
What? That's not that. It's not taxing. What do you consider an expensive AR? Me, it's $2,000. $2,000, I think, is like, oh Lord. Like,
we're just talking about the AR itself and no optics or any furniture.
Yeah. No. Just the AR. Like, if you were like, woof, that's a little expensive.
I can't see myself spending if I was spending over $1,500, I'd really have to be asking why.
That's kind of what I don't know what the cost of a BCM recce is, but I would think like the $1,200 to $1,500 range. That's probably my limit.
I say 2,000 because that's what's keeping me from buying my Desert Tech bullpup.
We've been talking about that for a while, though.
It's up there.
Honestly, and that's like a complete rifle. If I'm building it and I'm over 1,000, I need to be asking why.
Yeah. So if you're building it?
Mm-hmm. No, building is different because we know we know the parts to get and we know
like off the shelf, 2,000 is like, whoa,
Yeah, off the shelf for me at 1,500.
If I built at 2,000, I would have bought. They would just been so overly bought. Like, dude, why did you buy this $200 charging handle. Like, I don't know. I just had to waste some money. I had to get to 2,000.
That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part, right? So if you think about it, you're like, if I was building it, I'd be like, no way am I getting close to 2,000.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can even think of that would put me up in that range.
I would need $1,000 barrel to start me with.
Yeah. And freaking
carbon fiber wrapped barrels.
Yeah, and Geisley or whatever parts, and
dude, you could do it, but you'd have to do it on purpose. You'd be like, how can I just waste money? Like, how much more accurate is that gun? Like, barely at all. Like,
your favorite
and that Wooks wood furniture.
2K is fancy pants territory.
And so, and that's an interesting perspective, though, to know that, like, in our group, 1,200, 1,500, and 2,000 is what we consider expensive in terms of rifles, because we can put them together. So when you say to me like, hey, this $800 gun has a crappy barrel, like, well, dude, just switch it out.
Easy. Yeah.
You could take 10 minutes to switch it out. Even Harry in the comments, he was like, is changing a muzzle device considered gun building? Like, yeah, man. Like, if so,
Garrett says, but we'll blow $2,500 on a pistol.
Well, if you can build,
that's even, dude, the most expensive gun I have is that lever action, and it's because the furniture on it. That's a $2,000. The way it said $2,000. And it hurts my heart every time I think I spent $2,000 on that.
Have you shot it yet?
Oh yeah, it shoots nice, dude. It's smooth. Yeah, even the grandsons have shot it. I just put 38 special in it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
I think pistols can get tricky because they're not ARs, right? And if it was like, hey, a Desert Tech,
easily buildable,
right. And it's like, hey, here's a Desert Tech. Here's some totally different design that you can put together.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
If there's a mil spec pistol, right, we'll just use a 1911, right? That a million people were building parts and making, then it would make it cheaper.
Yeah.
Like, have you guys seen the 1911 market right now?
Mm-mm.
Dude, you could buy a 1911 for $300.
Oh, like the Thesis.
Yeah, the off-brand, but you can get them down to.
Man, those are gonna bump up. $600 now.
The Springfield Emissary or whatever would drop down to like $600 or $700, dude.
Hold on, Crook says, guys, I've got PSA part builds in the safe, BCM upper builds for my Grendels, Aero parts builds for AR-10s, etc. BA and Faxon barrels. I'm not a snob, but I love my Radian the most. Fight me.
I know.
No,
we're not saying that. You bought your Porsche, right?
Yeah, we're saying
you bought your Ferrari.
Yeah, we're saying you are the perfect example to say you can just get what you want and that's okay.
Yeah,
but we look at it
the way it is.
We look at it from so many of like, well, we get to see so many things and so much stuff. It's just another.
But that clapped out Miata with an LS swap pulls 2 car lengths on you, don't be mad. That's what we're saying. Don't be mad. Still like your Ferrari. Okay, don't get mad at the Miata.
Militaristics above that Crow comment. He had a good question. If $1,500, go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
If $1,500 is expensive for a rifle, what's expensive for a magnified optic and mount?
Hey, sky's the limit.
So I know a guy. He's retired Army Special Forces, and his motto was that whatever the cost of the firearm, he had to put close to that cost in glass, in optics.
And that ain't the FUD's way of thinking. I'm sorry. But that is so 1980s way of thinking, dude.
Because Cody even proved that. Because I'll say it because we went out with $800 optics and $2,300 optics. And we were both sitting there like, I kind of like I don't want to be mean.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the $800 optic a lot. And like my max would be 2,300 because that Zeiss S3 is probably one of the best glass I could shoot. Going above that, I think the returns would be so near zero. So
yeah,
I think
mine would be mission dictates gear, and you have to tell me what you want it for. If we're just talking about
Joe's answer would be a Romeo 5 and magnifier for everything.
Right.
Hey, it works.
If we're talking about distance, like that scope and that scope and that scope are all 3 the same scopes. Why? Because I bought one and I really, really liked it, and that's what I buy. And they're sitting at about $400, and they go out to 34 magnification power, and they're milled up.
Haley says optic equals double the price of the rifle. Pistols are $600 regardless somehow. No. Bob said, I'm eyeing the Trijicon VCOG, and I'm saying you should eye something else.
Cody loves it. I don't like and it all depends on like how you use the rifle too. Joe would love a Trijicon, like he would love an ACOG or something like that because of the way he uses a rifle.
I would, but I refuse to spend the money on it.
Yeah, but I hate those because we just have a different form, just a different way we use things. I don't like that close style. I do a more heads up style. Nothing wrong with either one, but one type of optic is going to be like he would love it. Where I would be like, dude, I want to throw this thing in the trash. Right?
But I bought my new Trijicon because how I'm building. I want that gun to be able to fall out of a helicopter, and I'm like, hold on, pull over. I need to get my gun, and I get my gun, and it still works. That's why I bought what I bought. Because that's the mission that I want it for.
I can't remember who it was. Larry Vickers. They were testing out a Daniel Defense gun, and they had a Aimpoint T2, I think, on top of it. And he dropped it out of a helicopter, literally like 100 feet in the air. But the last thing they did was they strapped Tannerite to it, I think, or put Tannerite close to it, and like blew up the gun. And they were testing the Daniel. They had Daniel Defense out there with him, and he was like, the gun looks fine, but he was more surprised that the optic had withstood everything. And the only thing that was wrong with it at the end was the T2 was like the zero was off, and he was able to like Kentucky windage it in.
And that's the crazy part. If you need that for your then you have to pay those prices.
Yeah.
But like, and that's why I say it dictates, mission dictates gear on that one.
So, okay. Joe might understand this comment. Croak said, dude, I built a clapped out S50 M3 with Sentry supercharger, suspension, all the crap to keep up with Boss's 360 Modena 993 911 Zanardi NSX. 30,000 all in. It could hang, but it also broke a lot.
Yep.
So wait, are you saying your Radian breaks a lot?
No, he's saying his BMW did, but that's normal BMW stuff.
Go to that comment from Jay, and well, I'm telling you, so I had a GTI that could hang with a lot of really fast cars, but it only broke once, and then it no longer could hang anymore, and it's gone.
He couldn't drive straight up his driveway with it.
It looked like he was doing the sniper walk with his car.
If you floored it in the GTI, you just spin. You just sit there and just like spin. You have to like slowly feather it on. So Jay says my AR with the $1,200 PWS upper has a $300 primary arms LPV on it. I can't imagine spending $1,000 on optics, dude. And that's where this group would be like, hey, it's still gonna work. If you got a $1,200 optic, how much better are you gonna shoot? Are you gonna shoot 5 times better? No.
Yeah. Here's my final answer.
There's almost a fight in the comments.
I'm cheap, right? So if I'm going with a scope, a magnification power scope, I'm gonna go with Athlon because I like them and they're cheap. If I'm gonna go with I just need stuff to be able to survive and get me through the woods, I'm gonna go with the SIGs, Romeo 5, because it's cheap and it works. If I had the money and I didn't care about spending the money, I would go with Aimpoint 100%, dude.
I think so. If we were like it was like a loot drop, like we're surviving out in the woods and we like take over a team, we're like, all right, let's check their gear. And Joe's like, sweet, got 5 SIG Romeo 5s from these boys. I'm like, I don't want any of those. Like, like I'm outfitted for a year.
Dude, I'd put one in front of the other on the same gun.
In case it fails.
Just in case the battery goes out, dude.
Mr. King Arthur says Glocks are like ARs, so much aftermarket and the endless options. And Bailey says, don't insult ARs like that.
I think that's when it's so hard to have an expensive AR, particularly when you really, really get into it too. When you're like, hey, we can build like if we're like, hey, build, let's do a build off and spend $3,000. Let's put in our head, hey, we're gonna do a build off, boys. Everybody gets $3,000. Go. The ludicrous garbage we would. Dude,
I'm coming with $1,200 gun and be like, what? I spent $3,000 on it. And prove me wrong, bro. And I'm just gonna have money in my pocket.
And then you form them next to each other. And be like,
some new clothes on.
Joe will be like, I pocketed $1,800 and I think I can still beat you guys. And like he wins, like the $1,200 gun won. Like this is bullcrap.
Yeah. Hey, for Croak though, Ferrari 360 Modena, one of my dream cars when I was in high school, young and dumb.
Ricochet 845 says, what people fail to realize is that generally speaking, you don't shoot as well as your gun can.
And I want to add
I agree with that.
accuracy tests on videos, I kind of hate doing them because
Ooh.
it's my barrel with one specific type of bullet. Where in reality, what I should be doing is taking out 10, 20 different types of ammo, shooting groups with all the different types and seeing what it gets on all different spectrums of ammo. But what sucks about that is that barrel from that review is not going to be that, like whatever ammo my barrel likes or what that review gun's barrel likes is not going to be what your barrel may like if you buy it. So the whole accuracy test is kind of bogus. It's kind of like, hey, don't put a lot of energy into here.
Dude, just from the first round to the 20th round, there's going to be a huge difference.
It's a huge
So
difference.
many
You know what I mean?
variables. Yeah.
It's like whatever result you're going to get, this is kind of like the military way of looking at it too. Add plus or minus half an MOA. So when someone tells me I got a inch and a quarter group on a sub MOA gun, I'd be like, yeah, dude, you're perfect. You're right in there. You're right in where I would expect it to be. You're somewhere between 3/4 MOA and inch and a quarter, like, or inch and 3/4. Like you're right where I expect. So, yeah.
What was that gun that you shot recently that you purposely dropped your round a little bit because you thought that you were missing?
Dude, that arc.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't even lying, dude. I wish that's the 6 arc, and that's when I had to.
That's what it was.
That's when I was like thinking of you in my head. I was like, what am I doing? Like, what have I been doing with my life? I think I came to that live chat. I was like, Joe, why have I been shooting anything else ever?
So Bailey said, I got to test all the Athlon products and they were beating the Night Force stuff, but the Night Force reticles were better.
Yeah.
Bob has a question. He says, Joe and gang, are you bipod guys? Do you go for a basic Harris or an Atlas Gucci type of guy? Joe goes for the $13 CV Life.
Yeah.
CV Life off Amazon.
No, so Joe, you're a bad guy though, aren't you?
Yeah, normally.
And I think testing guns, I'll use a bipod because it's easier.
Yes, if I'm going to the range and I'm laying down on concrete, I'm going to use a bipod. But if I'm going to sling my rifle, because I'm also a backpack guy. I don't want all this stuff all over the front of my kit. I'm a backpack guy. So I'll throw my backpack on the ground and use my backpack.
If we were like minute manning it up, bag all the way. There would be no reason I would have a bipod. I would throw it on the ground to distract somebody. Like you get more consistent shots off a bag. You particularly when the surface changes and it's just easier to move between different terrain. But from a review standpoint, like, hey, I'm at the range, I have all these things, I can just set up in position. I use a bipod because it's
bipod.
He's lying. He uses a tripod.
Yeah,
he does. He's such I can't say that word. But to answer your question, dude, $13 on Amazon, CB Life or whatever it's called. So I have one right there.
Yeah,
so I only have one.
One. What bipod do you have?
That Magpul one.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I have a Magpul one. I have a Caldwell carbon fiber one too. That I hate.
Really?
I hate it.
It's not good,
dude. You can't hate it. That's like super expensive in a tube and fiber.
Send it to Joe.
Yeah, I should.
Oh,
you should.
You hate it? Don't.
I hate it.
It's not good. It's I think they stopped making it. It's not a good bipod.
I'll send it to you, Joe.
But so those of you who don't know, this is so bad because I talked about this weeks ago, but like 4 years ago, Joe built a 6mm arc. And at the time he was like, Walsh, we got to get into 6mm arc. It's going to be huge. It's going to blow up. And I think now here in 2025, what Joe said 4 or 5 years ago is finally happening because every single can is coming in 6mm arc. But anyway, he's like, hey, let's do
Jostrajamus.
Yeah. Well, let's do a crazy barrel. So we did a Shaw barrel because we're like the only guys who made one, and a CMC trigger.
Yeah, CMC trigger.
Yeah, that I got on trade from Jason.
Yeah. So we had like this crazy core of a gun, and he's like, okay, cool, that's all I need. And like, okay, well, what else do you need for the building? I got it. Everything else is straight garbage.
Acme
Not
machine,
everything.
Acme machine handguard.
No,
it is an Acme machine, but it has a loose stock on it.
Oh, I mean, it's not great. I mean, it's good.
And it's not even the skeleton one. I opted for the expensive one that has all the cool widgets on it.
Yeah, so he's like, it's just all this trash. So he goes out and he's like, dude, I'm under $1,000 with optics. So he's like,
it was like 12. I think 12 or 13. The optic was like 400.
He goes out to 1,000 yards and just ring and steel with it. And like, guys, like all that Gucci stuff you have is stupid.
Yeah. And I have no training. I've never shot past 600. And I had only shot at 600 once in my life at that point, and it was just messing around.
Yeah, it was like, but then I go take that 6 arc out, and I'm just like drilling the same hole, and I'm like, oh, why am I shooting any other AR? Like, what is an AR doing for me? Now I have a gas gun shooting sub MOA with 1,100 yards when it goes transonic. Like, what's the point besides the ammo cost, right? If I had infinite ammo, like
besides force, right?
It's not even bad.
Like people win the argument on force. Like at 1,000, is it going to hurt? Sure, but it doesn't have the punching power of some of the.
Yeah, that I don't know. I haven't researched. Grendel may be better, but yeah.
Bailey says something people don't take into account is that after a certain point in cost, things stop losing value on the used market. I can buy a $3,000 scope and sell it for whatever it costs new a year later. Croak chimes in and says, yeah, it's another good point. Another good argument for buying a Gucci model if you're into trading or selling. A Fowler is going to be closer to retail than a Prodigy percentage-wise.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't even think of that because I've never sold a firearm in my life.
Yeah.
And I've never sold one of mine in my life, dude, and I never will. I almost did.
And Croak's right. He could probably Gunbroker's Raid and get all his money back. It's true because there's a massive waiting list. And like electronics are that way, like cameras, high-end cameras. You could pretty much sell it for probably on the dollar what you bought it for if you got a good deal on it. So
the GT3 RS was like $250,000 brand new, and it going for $400,000 on the used market because you can't get them.
Yeah, Zeonzone says hit 1K once, but with my buddy's fancy 338 Lapua bolt action.
Ooh,
dude, that the cost of that one bullet is more than Joe's bipod.
That is true.
When and I think me and Cody went out to a class, so we shot out to a mile. So he shot out to a mile, and I think it was the craziest thing, kind of going back to our optics conversation. Cody, what was the max magnification we used? 12? Did we even go to 12? So we're shooting out to a mile, and we're not even at 12.
Dude, I can't even see that far at 12.
It was with Zeiss.
Yeah, but the issue wasn't the seeing that far with 12. The issue was being able to see the bullet splash. So when we zoomed way in, you couldn't see where you missed. You couldn't see all the dust floating. So as you started to crank backwards, you could start to see the wind and everything. Like, oh, okay, like your spotter would see it, but then you would see it too. Like, oh, I can see it. Yeah, I'm 3 mil to the right, and you can adjust. But if you're like,
I'm just saying, if you would have hit your target the first time, you wouldn't have had to do that. Shoot,
I did.
Good job, Cody.
The cost of Joe's bipod is equivalent to what he paid for his mask.
No, actually, that mask, I could buy 3 bipod for what Cody paid for the mask.
That mask is expensive. That's a movie quality.
This is movie quality, dude. Genuine TMT, Teenage Mutant Ninja TMNT.
Movie quality.
Joe, bring up that Bailey question because I already know what Joe's going to say to this.
I don't know which
right at the bottom. Right at the bottom. You'll know.
So you won't sell the Glocks if something came up that you really wanted? He was talking to Croak. Because Croak said he had Glocks in his...
I thought he was talking to Joe.
No, Croak said, I don't sell stuff either. I've done a couple horse trades and given some away, but there's still Glocks in the safe that I'll never shoot again.
I sold one gun, and I, to this day, have not heard the end of it. There's some I could probably get rid of. There's like a brown.
I want to punch you right now.
Yeah, but I'm looking
just for bringing it up.
I'm looking at that 300 blackout I have, and I'm like, man, I should probably get rid of this. But there's only one person I could even sell it to. And he may be like, nah, I don't want it.
That's Cody.
Like, no.
Isn't that lefty
one?
Yeah. That's why he could only sell it to you.
I can sell it. Like, Joe, he's like, you can only sell it to me, and I don't want it. Like,
yeah,
great, okay, great.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's wall art at this point, dude. Hang it up.
At least it looks good.
Yeah.
Croak says, if I were building my Grendels today and I didn't have thousands of rounds of Grendels stacked like I do, I'd still build a Grendel over 6-arc because my Grendels hunt meat, not paper or steel.
And I don't disagree. I built a Grendel. I've yet to shoot it, but I built a Grendel just because of you, Croak. It's right there.
And the reason I have Croak, my Grendel build is way more practical. It's got an LMT. I went kind of crazy with it. Got an LMT lower. It's all blacked out. It looks like a rifle. It looks like a real. The 6-arc looks like it's from Call of Duty. It's a joke. It's a joke goof off gun. like it's kind of like ha ha ha.
How
I
dare
don't take
you.
life seriously. Whereas like the 6.5 Grendel is like, all right, like this is for real. So
isn't the Grendel from Beowulf too? The name
yeah,
Grendel.
I think the same people make the 6.5 Grendel as makes Beowulf
and the
That's same-
story.
Yeah,
Alexander
Yeah.
Arms.
yeah, that company we don't like.
Oh, we like
don't-
them just because we could tell the story.
True.
We should
Because
share.
they
we
try to
should
tell
share
what
the
to do, we
story
can and
again,
can't do
Joe.
with our parts.
Joe,
Yeah.
share that story again
Yeah, do
because
the
there's
story.
probably people here that have not heard it, and
Yeah.
it's one of my
That
favorites.
didn't go well.
Okay. So Walsh wanted to go. Okay, let's back up. I'm building 50 Beowulfs, right? And this is back.
Not 50.
No, 350 Beowulf. But no, this was the fourth.
No, that's the fourth.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the
Yeah,
oddball one. So 50 Beowulf, that's what I'm building. And the person that wanted it built wanted the tank brake. The one that looks like on a tank or on a 50
awesome.
cal.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome looking, right? That's what he wanted. And I don't even know what company it is. They're the one that made it. So Walsh ordered
Alexander
it, got the
Arms.
money. Okay. Alexander Arms. Walsh got it sent to me. All I know, I'm building it, right? But Walsh wanted to go through a different company for the barrel because they're stupid expensive for their stupid barrels.
Excalibur.
So we get that barrel, but the way that the tank brake locks in is it has a collar with a set screw in it. So you get it clocked where you want it, and then you screw the set screw in it, and that's what keeps it in place. Well, the collar like goes over the barrel probably half an inch-ish, right? Where there's no threads, and then half an inch into the collar where the threads start. The barrel that we are using will have a thicker barrel than obviously Alexander Arms barrel, so it wasn't going over top. And I just told Walsh that, like, hey, I'm not going over top. We're going to have to modify it. And Walsh was like,
hold on, let me show the Alexander Arms barrel. They basically spec it out so that you can only use their barrel. So it has a longer shoulder so that they can use their brake on their barrel because it's got a longer shoulder that can hold the brake instead of just going immediately into the normal size shoulder after the
right
threading.
So I reached out to Walsh and said, hey, this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to modify it to make sure that's okay because I can't imagine this thing went cheap. And Walsh said, hold off. Don't. He saw me getting out cutting wheels and stuff, dude. Like, and he's like, hold on. Let me reach out to him. So he reached out to him, and they gave Walsh a mouth load. You can't do that. This is proprietary. You have to use our stuff. I don't even know. What all did they say to you? I'm sure they didn't say copyrighted, but patented or patent pending, and they were throwing out all kinds of stupid crap.
They're basically saying we weren't allowed. Like, you're not allowed to do that. We don't authorize you to do that. You need to buy our barrel because that's the only way that we want this to be assembled. And it was like, I emailed Joe.
I was like, dude, I'm not listening to any of that. All I have to do is cut the collar off down to where the threads start, and I'll put a jam nut on this stupid thing and get rid of that stupid set screw that's going to dig into the threads of the barrel anyway. Like, this is dumb. I'm tired of doing that. I'm tired of dealing with it. I'm cutting it. Walsh was like, no, I don't think we should. In the next picture he got with that piece cut off.
And it was like, it was like, I'm about to do it. I'm like, no, I don't think we should. And then it's cut off. Then the next picture, like 3 minutes later, it's all threaded on and assembled. Like, it's all Loctited down and good to go. Like, oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, got a jam nut on there. We're good to go.
Yeah, TPS, the Prepared Scotsman says, you are not allowed. I bought it. Get the F, LMAO.
That's exactly how that conversation went.
So, yeah, we with Alexander Arms, we were always like, I think it's what tainted us on our Grendel builds after that. We're all like, man,
screw those guys. Mr. King Arthur says 50 Beowulf with a tank brake would be loud AF. Dude, these dum-dums over here shot it indoors.
Inside.
It was awesome. Hey,
so the tank brake, the tank brake was crazy, but when me and Cody shot it inside, we talk about this all the time. You can see the concussive blast go out, bounce off the wall, shake all the dust loose, and come back.
Hey, but I tell you what, that is the quickest way to sell one. Because everybody's like, what was that? They all wanted to buy one.
Every single time me and Cody went to the range, we would tell Joe like, bro, we should just bring another one with us because every person would be like, dude, that is the biggest smile maker. Like, yeah, we're shooting D batteries, bro.
Yeah. Brownie says that's a very Ferrari thing to do with proprietary stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Did
no,
you know?
can't do it. Watch
Speaking
me.
of that, did you know Ferrari done that? Like Ferrari will sue you for changing the paint color.
I did hear about that. Yeah.
On their car, like you bought it, and they'll sue you for changing the color on it.
Yep.
The only proprietary thing that we have in our Beowulfs is the round. The rest of it we got from other means.
Well, because there's like generic, it's what is it, like a 12.7 by 43 or something like that is like that's what everyone else is allowed to call it. They can't call it 50 Beowulf. That's what it is.
Yeah. We built 50 Beowulf before everyone else because they couldn't call it that. So and we had like, Jason, what size is that? Like, oh, you guys need this cuckoo barrel. Like, okay.
Dude, the first one that we bought, I don't even know if the XL were out or if we didn't know about them. I don't think the XL were out.
No, you had to grind.
I had to mail the receiver.
Yeah, the receiver.
And I did it all by hand with Dremel. Dude. I'm like,
so
dust cover's never gonna close, but
they still don't. So at the time,
I
guys,
have a dust cover on mine.
No, you can't.
You do.
Well, mine does, but it doesn't do anything. It just flips up and down. So the uppers, we had to use standard AR-15 uppers when we built these 50 Beowulfs. Now there's easier solutions, but Joe's like, hey, this isn't going to work, guys. Your round's not going to eject out. I have to Dremel out the actual the ejection port window. It's like, I can do it. It's not a big deal. It's just the dust cover never closes. Will never close. But well, we don't use those anyway, so who cares?
Who needs a dust cover?
So now you can get the XTs, the Aero XT uppers that it's exactly for that round, but at the time you just had to Dremel it.
Yeah. That's what he did.
Man, I haven't shot that thing in a while.
Dude, I shot it with a buddy of mine the other day, and he was probably 10. We were outdoors, this 50-yard range, standing. He was probably like 10 feet away. He didn't know what I was shooting, but I shot it, and he was like, the concussive blast hit him, and he was like, "What is that?"
That's like,
come here, shoot it.
Like I want to go to an indoor range and just like brief no one. Be like, do, going in the middle lane.
Like,
everybody
stopped
like
what they were doing.
Everybody stopped what they're doing. They were watching us. The range guy comes up. He's like, "What was that?"
They'll always do this one. Is like,
yeah.
like, what was that?
Wop, wop, wop. TPS. F everyone on that range detail and the poor fly in the rafters that's just been discombobulated.
Oh, so, and every time we have to be like, hey, can we shoot this here? And they're like,
oh.
And they're like, no. And then they look at it and they're like, you can't shoot this here. I'm like, well, check it. And like, well, it's got a low muzzle velocity, so actually you can. Like, yes.
Yeah, it doesn't have steel penetrator in it.
I'm gonna go knock the dust off the walls.
Dude, I have
so I size of a AA battery.
I reload my own 50 Beowulf, and I spear makes hollow point for that. Dude, I have some hollow point 50 Beowulf rounds that are loaded up in my mag. Can you imagine that as like a home defense gun?
Some.
That's ridiculous.
I want a steel penetrator and have like a transmission destroyer. Like you're just like, hey, I'm coming down the road. Like, wow! Like, what?
Shoot through the block.
Like
that's what I'll use when Skynet activates.
Yeah,
I'm 50 Beowulf.
I gotta fight T-Rex.
Like, there's times that I wish I would have built one with you, guy, but then there are times that I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't build one.
It's so impractical. It's so
hilarious. Right. Like, but shooting a slug, having 8 slugs in it, and not shooting them out of having 10 slugs in it and not shooting them out of a shotgun sounds pretty cool for home defense.
Yeah. 10? What, in a 40-round mag?
No, the magazine holds a standard AR mag holds 10 of them, like single stack.
I don't think so.
Yeah. And my steel like GI mag holds 10 of them.
I'll have to check. I always thought it was like 7 because I have that's the only setup I have that has the mag link, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So I have like it's like 15 rounds total. It's like whoop 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 switch.
Prepared Scotsman. So what happened to the intruder? Yeah, he's over there, and a wee bit up there.
No, dude, he looked like the liquid guy on Terminator 2 when he blasts him. Like, he just has a giant holes everywhere, dude. It's like
What are you
5
shooting with? Like,
giant holes.
it's
And his arm is just like this.
Like, I thought it would be a good idea.
He kept moving.
Bailey says do it with an FRT trigger.
Hmm?
Oh, okay. So I've never shot an FRT trigger.
Yeah.
In Minecraft, my buddy has one. So I had like your normal function check. I don't know how a function check is supposed to be in a reset trigger, because you pull the trigger, click, you hold the trigger down, right, on a normal gun, you rack it, and then you let go and you hear the clunk. But on his, it won't do that, right?
No,
Is that normal?
Yeah, because it'll already have, because where you're releasing forward,
you can already reset. You'll hear the clunk as you let the bolt go forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's going to force your finger forward off the trigger.
You should feel
Imagine it with a Franklin, dude, with a binary trigger.
Yeah. Croak says 50 Beowulf is a summer gun. If you know, you know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Apparently, I don't know.
I'm not cool enough.
He's gonna be like, damn it, guys, that was a cool joke, and none of you guys
right.
thought it.
Brandon Marathon with his duck. I haven't seen you comment here before, so welcome.
But he
says,
what's your duck's name?
Yeah. He's funny, like, I'm gonna ruin these guys' life. Like, no, bro, you are on brand.
We like ducks.
Yeah, I want to know its name.
And pooping.
Yeah, what's your duck's name? Dude, we went to this park with my 2 daughters. Joe, you're gonna love this, because the youngest we had a bag of fish food, and this pond had a bunch of koi in it, but there were also geese, and she wanted the geese to eat out of her hand. And it wasn't coming close to her, right? But they were trying to eat the fish food. So she tried to grab it by the neck to like bring it over, and it, of course, it hissed at her. And so I'm telling her like back away, and she's going after it. My 5-year-old is going after this goose, like, come here, eat the food,
eat this,
eat the food. Why won't it eat it?
Dude.
And the
Geese
goose
are
is
mean.
like backing away from my daughter, hissing at it. And I was like, oh, get away. It's okay. I was more scared of the goose than my 5-year-old.
I was in charge of babysitting your oldest when she was young. And I thought it'd be cool to get bread and go feed the geese, because they had little goslings.
Yeah.
And we went over there, and Uncle Joe got told he can no longer babysit because they were Canadian geese with goslings. They were really mean, so we fed a bunch of turtles instead. I almost kicked the goose, dude. Like,
it happened.
Yeah.
So, and my oldest had never met Joe. Like, my wife came out; she was pregnant with my son, and I think we were going to the movies. My wife and I were gonna, like, we were at school, so I hadn't seen my wife in like 4 months. And Joe was like, "I'll watch your toddler. You guys go to the movies."
How tricky?
She was 2.
Yeah, she was 2 years old. Like, how hard?
I was like, go to dinner, go to the movie, whatever, dude. We'll just chill here.
Yeah.
I had all kind of activity planned. I wasn't gonna take her off the installation.
Yeah.
But I had all kind of activity planned. I even went over to the shop and bought a loaf of bread to feed the ducks, to feed the geese. Yeah. Dude, I think we even watched Rambo or something. We watched
went
one
to
of
the
them.
G Bar. We went to the Lucky Express. Jeez.
Go up to that lady and ask her if she's your mommy. Are you my mommy?
I can't find my mom.
Come here. Sorry, she's interrupting you.
Yeah.
Hey, do that one thing, Garrett. Yeah, he saw it.
Garrett says, I got knocked off my moped by a flock of geese when I was in high school.
There's no there's no manly way to describe, like, you're all stood up, like, what happened?
No.
Dude, I got hit by a bunch
Not talking about it. Not talking about it.
Never tell that story again.
Yeah.
I think my
I would have
funniest
been like, I got in a fight with a bunch of cycle ninjas.
Yep. I'm lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
My funniest interaction as an adult, Joe was there with this turtle that was in the middle of the road, and I thought I was going to save it. I did not know turtles could move as fast as they could, and it scared the bejeebers out of me. Yeah,
no, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Was it? I don't think so. But Cody, it was big. It went like this, and it had a long neck that could come about halfway. You know, they say
And
that
a tail?
turtle can reach about halfway. Yeah, it had a tail.
That's a snapping
And
turtle.
you know how they buck inside their shell?
Yes.
Like it would,
I had
dude.
no
Every
idea,
time
dude.
Jason touched it, it was bucking so hard, dude.
I ended up kicking it because it was in the middle of the road. Like, I'm like, this poor turtle. We see it, right? I'm like, this poor turtle. I'm going to save it. Be a hero today. I go to pick it up, and it bucks and tries to bite my hand. And I was like, Joe's in this truck dying laughing. And I tried picking it up twice or three times. And I'm getting so sick of this thing. I kick it off the side of the road, like down the embankment into a little pond or whatever that was down there.
Yeah.
I come back to the
You're
truck. And
welcome
Joe
for
has
my
tears.
service.
Joe has tears coming out of his eyes, laughing so much. Right outside of school.
Yeah.
Hey, I need a good dose. It's the past time. I need a good dose of 2A updates.
Oh god,
it's there's a couple, I guess.
Well, I know that Kash Patel is no longer.
Yeah,
ATF,
so that's
acting
one.
ATF director.
I saw some.
Yeah,
it was the
he was
former
the
Army
intern.
secretary.
Yeah, he was the intern anyway. I don't know why it went so fast. Nobody done, but he was the intern anyway.
Yeah.
Isn't he running the FBI? Like, yeah.
But the other guy, the other one is running the Army. Like, whatever. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah. But so the new director or Bondi or whatever, they said that we're going to redo the initiative and look at what the ATF have been doing, right? And they said, hey, this in the business of, we need to relook at that. So that might be going away.
Well, so remind me what that one is.
That's if you're in the business of building firearms, you have to have FFL. So if you were to ever make any profit ever, you have to have an FFL. So pretty much they're making it illegal to sell firearms as a private party.
I remember us talking about this like a year ago.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. So they're looking at that and maybe scrapping it. They're looking at the pistol brace rule and maybe scrapping it, and we'll get into both of those in a minute. And then they are scrapping the absolute strict scrutiny that they're doing on FFLs. Like if you put CIR when their license says circle, they're shutting down FFL for that. So they did say that they're canning that. Now let's go back to the pistol brace and everything. It's bittersweet. I'm glad that they might be scrapping all that and we're no longer at threat for that. But then again, how long is that going to last? 4 years? Like, because we don't have an actual legal ruling on any of it, it could rear its head again. So it's kind of bittersweet. I mean, I'm not kicking a gift horse. And what, the assistant director of the ATF have now stepped down, I think.
Who, the Bongino?
I think so. Google
Why?
it. Fact check me.
Driscoll was fired this morning?
Yeah, fact check me. I don't know names, but that's just what I heard.
Who did you say again?
What I heard, the assistant director of the ATF.
Oh, okay. No, Bongino's the assistant director of FBI.
Oh, okay.
So some shakeups for sure then.
Yeah, so that stuff is happening. There's not really a bunch of good or any other news, really. There's a bunch of people suing the... Dude. Oh, we already talked about that one weeks ago.
Which one?
There are a bunch of groups suing Colorado for putting a sales tax on ammo and firearms. That you can't tax a protected constitutional right or single-handedly tax. And they're using case law where they taxed ink and lost.
To someone recently about the whole California, their magazine the Ninth Circuit upholding California's magazine ban, and I just, dude, I couldn't come to terms with it. Like, logically speaking, I don't understand how California passes the law mandating that you need to have a magazine disconnect. The gun will not function without a magazine. And then the Ninth Circuit coming in saying, well, no, that's not a firearm. It's not a firearm. It's an accessory. Like, yeah, it's an accessory that the stupid state requires for the gun to function.
Right. Well, do you want to know why? And maybe tell me if I have to turn my red lights on, but I'm trying to keep calm.
It's no fun.
Why it is because the Bruin decision said history and tradition, right?
Mm-hmm.
In plain text of the Second Amendment and history and tradition. There's obviously no history and tradition, so they know flat out they're going to lose. So the only argument that they have is if not protected under the Second Amendment. That's it. That's all they have. That's where they're going with suppressor. That's where they're going with SBRs. That's where okay. Here's another one for you, Jason.
Yeah.
Short or sawed-off shotguns and SBRs were originally said that they're not allowed. Why? Because there was no military use. They had said back then when they made that ruling that the whole part of the Second Amendment is to have a militia, right? But there's none of them in the arsenal. The military doesn't use them. Therefore, they're not protected. They're abnormal and not protected. You fast forward to now, and they're saying anything that a military style weapon shouldn't be protected because it's a military style weapon.
So it's like both.
Also, you have suppressors that they're saying are not protected by the Second Amendment because they're not a firearm, yet the definition of a firearm that Congress made specifically spells out a suppressor is a firearm in the definition of a firearm.
And that's what I'm hoping that like Pam Bondi's going to look at it and be like, guys, you're trying to make both arguments. I don't care if you make one argument or the other. You just can't make the same argument out of both sides of your mouth. You can't be like, hey, we're not a firearm, so we can tax you. Oh, we are a firearm, so we're gonna regulate it. Like what?
Right.
Like you have to pick one or the other.
Right.
You can't do both.
Now, what my question to Cody last week was, let's pretend for a second, play make believe, and they sue Colorado for taxing ammunition of firearms at an extra 6%, and that is found unconstitutional. You're taxing a Second Amendment, right? How does that change the tax stamp?
So
it shouldn't be regulated at that point.
Right. Can you still tax SBRs? I mean, suppressor, they're going to say it's not a firearm, but can you still tax SBRs at that point?
I think they're going to. Now,
I think they're going to, too.
So Croak says, actually, the SBR SBS rule was just to close a loophole on the handgun ban. That was the main reason for the NFA. Handguns got yanked at the last minute. SBR stuff didn't get pulled too.
Yep.
Croak says,
that was the reason why. They said that there was no military value to it.
Yeah. Croak says, I think there's some resistance in the ATF and DOJ with some of these rulings. Folks on staff that hate Trump letting some of this stuff ride in court. Yeah, probably.
Yep.
Regardless of what Pam... I mean, there was that admiral that just came out and was like, we're not going to put pictures of Trump or Vance up as a commander-in-chief. We'll just wait.
She got removed.
We'll hold out for 4 years until the next election, and then we'll put people...
Really?
Up. Yeah.
Somebody in the military said that?
Admiral. She was like, we're not going to put pictures of up. So she got removed.
Yeah.
She was like a NATO something.
Doesn't make a lot of sense. Just put it up. Like that's who was. I mean, you could be upset.
That's
about
your
it,
commander-in-chief, regardless of what you think.
Yeah. There's no like, be upset about it, but that's just what it is.
Like, well, she said it like an all call, and put out all kinds of stuff.
You
like
can think whatever you want, but you have to. I mean, especially in the military, you have to follow the rules. Like
Mr. King Arthur said, we had SBSs in the Border Patrol. They were 14-inch barrels. Super common. I mean, dude, we had full autos MP5 with one of my agencies, and I think our M4s were 14.5-inch barrels.
Mm-hmm. Most are
super common.
Mm-hmm. Now, not back when they were making that rule.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, what, in the 30s or whatever?
Josh says, military grade? How dare you? Mine is way better.
Well, the problem is that ballistics have gotten better, so the need to have long 18, 16-inch barrels is...
Oh, Croak says, Space Force Commander just got canned too, like hours ago.
What?
No way.
Who was that?
Space Force Commander.
I don't know.
Isn't that... Saltman? Salt?
I don't know.
Something?
I'm sure it's
I know
somebody.
Whiting is Spacecom.
Space Force Commander. We probably knew them at some point.
Croak says, I do not presume, he's quoting, I do not presume to understand current politics, but what I do know is the concerns of the U.S. administration discussed by Vice President Vance on Friday are not reflective of Pituffik Space Base.
I didn't know that was a place.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, Mr. King Arthur, I agree with you. He's saying the SBR and SBS should be overturned by the Congress now. And Croak brought up a comment like the only
100%.
reason that the SBR rule even exists is because it was a loophole for pistols they were trying to ban.
Right. They were going to ban pistol, and then people were like, well, they'll just take rifle and make them shorter. We'll let ban them too.
Yeah.
So then they put them all in together, and then at the last minute, they said, if you try to ban pistols, the country's going to go against you. You'll never get them. Take pistol out if you want anything. And that's what they did, and that's what passed. It's ridiculous. And it got rid of like Tommy guns and stuff like that.
She's the base commander in Greenland.
I thought it was is that Inserlik? I don't know.
No, Inserlik is Iceland.
I don't know my bases.
No, Inserlik is Turkey.
Turkey.
Oh,
We
yeah.
did
go there. We went there with you, Cody. We went there together. I cut my sock in half.
What the heck is the Joe's been there, right? Haven't
Thule.
you been yeah,
Thule.
There it is. Did they rename it?
No. Well, I guess so, yeah.
Well, I think
What do you think of the renaming of what is it, Fort Liberty back to Fort Bragg?
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's not going to be.
Yeah, it's not the like the bad Bragg. It's like this private.
Yeah.
Like some private.
So what they did is
Bragg.
they found the same names with new people.
Dude, they had only gone through like 25% of the signs, and they're like, look, do you really want us to keep replacing all these signs on base?
My God. Think of it this way. We could just find a kid who did something worthwhile with the same name, and we could use the same signs as before.
Right. And then we can put those signs back up and just stop all that nonsense.
Yeah, and then in 4 years we can make it Liberty again. We can keep going back and forth, and it doesn't matter. It won't cost us anything.
Yeah, on Peterson, it's Space Force Base now. In the gym, they still have the Air Force seal, like really big on the wall, and it's in Department of the Air Force and stuff. And this thing ain't small, dude. That thing's probably like 5 feet in diameter, dude. Like it's not small. It's like, man, you guys haven't gotten around to putting the Delta Wing up there yet, have you?
It's gonna cost a little bit of money.
Yeah.
See what Crook said? They're looking for a new hood too. Every hood I've ever met is kind of a D-bag, so I don't know. Good luck. I don't know. All right, what are we doing? Talking about videos for next week or this week. Right, this Sunday. Yeah.
Zach says name hood after the Halo character.
There you go. That is a good one. So for this weekend, I have an interesting one with dynamic principles. We have another chest rig system. He's got a very interesting one where he has a totally different take on it that I don't hate, where every piece from a micro rig all the way up to a full scalable plate carrier all integrates together. So if you want to use a chest, you want to use your placard setup with the rear harness or your rear plate bag, you could do that. You could do your front plate bag with the rear harness. You could do that. You want to use expanders and all your plate, half your plate bits. Everything is smart and modular and pieces together. So you could start with a simple budget and build something small, or build only exactly what you need, or everything in between. So I was pretty flabbergasted by it. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So that'll be on Sunday. It's pretty cool. I think, Jason, I think he's going to try to come to the live next Thursday.
Okay.
So I don't know. We'll probably do armor talk again. So just be warned.
Yeah. If you guys want to bring your questions about body armor next Thursday, and he will answer all of them.
Like all of us geek out about something, right? Everyone's a nerd about something. And for some reason, Dan at Dynamic Principles nerds out about armor.
Yeah. I don't know. What do I nerd out over? Probably something dumb.
Yeah.
I can't think of it right now.
It's always, we all have something that we're just like, so like, this is my thing. Like I can nerd out on battle belts, and it's just very annoying.
Croak says, applause for the mods tonight. We had Troublemaker that never got visibility.
Oh, was that
yes,
the poop
we did.
guy?
No, there was
Really?
more. I'll talk to Joe about it specifically Joe about it after the live.
Sweet.
Oh man.
Oh, so Michael Farley says his armortism is awesome.
Yeah, bring your comments because he's gonna be ready. He's gonna he's trying to get us talk normal, and then you can get him off the rails. He'll forget that he's talking. Like, he'll just keep.
He's basically
talking.
an autist.
And I'm just going to use this time to echo that. Thank you for the mods for helping out with all that stuff. That can get so annoying, and we didn't even see it. It was seamless.
I didn't
for
even
us,
see
so
it.
thank you.
So that's
right.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Some good mods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, good job, Zach.
They've been kicking butt tonight.
What's he saying about the? Look at what Zach's saying.
We legit need to talk about what the heck is going on with Apex Armor Solutions.
Isn't that just a guy in his
basement?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
99% sure it's a dude in his basement.
I don't know if Joe and Cody know this story, but there was a case. It was I think he was an army major who tried killing his wife. He dropped her off a eighth story balcony at a hotel. You ever heard that story? Okay, real quick. So he tried killing his wife first by hitting her over the head with the top of the toilet bowl, like the porcelain top of the toilet bowl.
Okay,
and while she was sleeping, he tried hitting her, but it hit the headboard and broke before it made contact with her head. She was so dumb. She woke up and he was like, "You were sleepwalking. You went to the bathroom, you got this thing, and you tried hitting yourself in the head with it." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you for saving me." So then if they were going to renew their vows, they've been married 10 years. So they're in one of those hotels with all the balconies face downward into the foyer.
Yeah.
And according to this army major, he was going to carry her through the threshold of the room. But it was something like their room was on the 8th floor, but they got off the elevator on the 7th floor. And he didn't realize until he walked all the way down carrying her, supposedly. And he turned around to walk back to the elevator. She, according to him, slipped out of his hand and fell 7 floors down, landed on a wedding cake and a table on the bottom, broke her fall, broke both of her legs, but she lived. So the defense hired this expert because we brought up the whole toilet bowl porcelain top things.
Yeah.
They had this expert that came in to talk about how that's not possible. And literally it was this redneck in a trailer park who got a bunch of frozen chickens and basically went to Lowe's and bought every toilet bowl tank top you could think of. And it was just him hitting them over frozen turkeys. And so they have to show it to the prosecutor to allow it as evidence. And the prosecutor was like, yeah, no objection at all. Please bring this in. We would love to show some redneck busting toilet bowl lids. I have no idea why that story came.
I don't either. I know an awesome story. I just don't know how that is geared in a basement.
We were talking about autists. That's yeah. There we go. That's me.
I was about to say, I'm laughing about why are we talking about this?
What is that? I can't.
Oh, it's a trigger. Apex trigger.
Oh, nice. You got it for the 365?
Yep. It's
nice.
Not an Apex trigger.
ARG, sounds like this guy just had a bad day.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So Zach, what's the story with Apex? Or maybe you can tell me in Discord. We're gonna run out of time pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me.
I took too much time talking about
the toilet bowl guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
Autist, group designated SMEs, LMAO. It's always a valuable asset to have in any team or group.
Yeah. He's our armor SME. Why do you say it? Just go ask him. Ask him anything.
Yeah.
2 hours later, that dude likes armor. Yeah. You good though? Yeah, I'm good.
All right, we gotta close up shop. Any last words before we do that?
Nope. I did say no. Yes. If you haven't done the stuff for the giveaway, please go enter into 50,000 subscriber giveaway. There's not that many people who have actually submitted the codes for the YouTube members. So if you don't have that, hit me up on and you remember, hit me up on Discord. I'll post it again though. Patreon members have not been a whole bunch. The Discord member code has only been used 15 times or something crazy. So I'll continue to post all those things though, but make sure to do that. Keep an eye out for the Griffin video. I will hide our secret code in there. It'll be obvious upon inspection. I will come out and yell it to you, so you won't miss it. It's not going to be.
And when in doubt, just throw in TLD It'll probably work in that too.
How funny would that be if I could change it? How funny would that be?
You should have made one of those TLD CO.
I know nothing.
I throw it in everything.
Everybody here at the end knows nothing. Okay, cool.
Oh, here you go. Dave's Bruins asking, is there a Rumble member code?
Oh, look at from Rumble.
Rumble
You get
member.
negative points.
Yeah.
Yeah, we discussed this. You shouldn't have said anything.
No, we appreciate you.
Yeah, we
Dave,
do.
hey, Dave,
Just
if you are
joking.
on Discord at all, send me a message.
Yeah.
I'll get you a
Get on
code.
Discord at least. We'll give you some. We want to support the people who come in here and talk with us and be on our live chats and do those things with us. So we'll make it happen. So, yeah.
Crook says
Costco hot dogs. Heck yeah.
Costco hot dogs $1.50. That's what it should be. $1.50.
We'll see. We'll see what it's going to be.
$1.50 for life.
All
right.
We'll make some fun.
Guys, we appreciate you being here. As always, we are here every Thursday night, and we will see you next Thursday. Adios.